not sick. He's just a little groggy, you know?
Jason, whenever this happens, he always asks for you, doesn't he?
Yeah, we've been friends a long time. I guess he trusted me or something.
How is he?
Well, he's as all right as anyone can be. He's been popping pills all day. Here's to grab bag.
You okay, Joe?
Yeah, sure. I'm great.
This time he's great.
Now, you all know that Charlie is far from alone. An appalling number of our kids is involved in this drug business. Now, I want to help. But I'm not sure how. That's why I thought if we could all get together, maybe we can find a way to help each other, find a way to help our kids.
Mr. Kaufman.
Dear Nell?
My question is, as teachers, are we the ones to do something about it? Now, I'd say it's the parents' job. They were the ones who caused this whole thing in the first place by letting their kids run wild.
Miss Tandy?
If I were to blame any one person or thing, it would be our entire Western civilization. The drug culture is simply a byproduct, a manifestation of a way of life that's out of rhythm with nature.
That's very interesting. Miss McIntyre.
Mr. Kaufman is asking us to deal with a practical problem. The kids in our school need help. Now, can we figure out a way to help them?
Exactly. Thank you, Miss McIntyre.
But they don't want our help. Don't you know that yet?
Mr. Yarnell, when a kid does something wrong, maybe he's asking for help. Now, if he refuses that help, then maybe it wasn't the right kind of help in the first place.
All right, Mr. Dixon, if that's true, then the obvious question is, how do we go about winning their trust? You got any ideas?
Well, I've been thinking about this problem for quite some time, and I don't have a surefire solution, but I do have a suggestion that I think it might be worth a try.
Please, let's hear it.
Well, my suggestion is that the teachers and students get together and just talk.
Talk?
Mm-hmm.
You're not serious.
Oh, I'm very serious. We set up a room 2 or 3 times a week. Anybody who wants to is free to come in and talk. Not only kids with drug problems, but kids with any kind of problem. In strict confidence, without rules, and without status. No teachers on one side and students on the other. Just people talking and trying to help each other.
That's a very fine idea, Mr. Dixon. May I ask you just one question? How are you going to get the kids to show up?
How do we know what we say won't be used against us? How do we know we can trust you?
Have my word.
Yeah, but what does your word mean if we don't trust you? See.
The grown-ups have been giving us lectures all our lives, Miss McIntyre. But there won't be any lecturing, just talking and listening.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe a teacher could listen to a kid even if he wanted to. It's against their nature.
Mr. Dixon, I don't mess with that stuff, so I got no reason to show up.
It doesn't just have to be about drugs, Jason. I think a straight talk between adults and kids might do all of us a lot of good.
Yeah, well, you cats can make it if you want, but not me.
Why not?
Simple. Everything's cool. Everything's beautiful.
Who you jiving, man? You was the cat top of his class, gonna cop a scholarship to college. Now you lucky if you even graduate. What's this everything beautiful, Chad?
He's right, Charlie. Your grades have taken a nosedive this last year.
Yeah, well, like I flashed onto something about a year ago. Like my old man, worked 15 hours a day his whole life. So now he can get a little place on the beach. I don't see why I gotta waste my whole life in that competition slave bag when I can live at the beach now, or the desert, or the mountains, or any place I want to, without that big 9 to 5 hassle. So what do I care about something like my grades falling?
Well, my guess is that we have been stood up.
Well, not really, since nobody accepted our invitation in the first place.
There's no basketball game or anything, is there?
No, he just didn't show up.
Too bad.
Well, wait a minute. Let's wait a little while longer. Maybe somebody's on his way.
Greater faith hath no man.
Hi, Mr. Dixon. Jason?
Jason, you're a pretty influential man around here.
Yeah?
I got a favor to ask of you.
Shoot.
Well, I'd like you to help me get some of the kids to give our talk session a try.
You really think talking to these kids here can stop them from messing with drugs?
I think there's a chance.
Okay.
Okay, what?
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
No principal or teachers, no students, just people. If that's possible, I'm not sure that it is.
Yeah, you're our teachers, and we can't wipe that out of our minds. But neither can you.
Well, we can try.
Yeah, but, I mean, how are we to know that what goes on in here won't get out to the cops or our parents?
Because we say so.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It's not bad, man. Yeah, they're teachers like you said, but they're good people.
That's one of the problems, I guess, when there's no rules. Nobody knows where to start. I wonder if we could just start in the middle. Would anybody like to talk about why they use drugs or how they started?
Well, I guess I'll be the first to start. I guess, well, it's kind of hard to tell, but I think the reason I got started was because everybody else was doing it, you know what I mean? I didn't...
You're crazy. Do you know that? Do you really think they care about us? Or can even understand anything about us? Well, look at him. He's one of them, the ones that only care about things, not people. The ones that start the wars and keep the people poor. Well, isn't that right, Mr. Kaufman? You're going to help us? It was your generation that created the world that forces kids to turn to drugs in the first place.
Now, you're accusing me, as a member of my generation, of I guess, of creating a world that is so terrible that you young people are forced to turn to drugs. Well, I can't defend a whole generation. Each member is as different as each member of your generation.
What about the specifics Charlie mentioned, like materialism and wars and all that?
Now, look, people of my age group made a lot of mistakes. There's no question about that. Serious mistakes. And you kids are suffering from a lot of those mistakes. I don't think any thinking person can deny that. But I can't just let you just lump us all into one big group, throw us in a garbage can and put a label on it, monsters or something. I mean, that's just ridiculous. I've known too many good people that devoted their lives, and many of them at great personal sacrifice, for things that they believed in. Like decent jobs for people and a good education for anybody that wants it. Respect for human beings. And peace in the world. That's not something new. I think you do yourself and them a great disservice by assuming that you're the first decent people that were ever born in the world. I mean, I can't see why we don't come together and try to change what's wrong instead of pointing fingers and blaming.
Charlie, you said something about the kids today being forced to take drugs. What do you mean by that?
Like I said, the world's a drag. I mean, well, what have I got to look forward to? The draft?
So you pop pills or whatever you do to block the world out?
Sure. Like my old man drinks because he hates his job.
Don't you look ahead to anything? I mean, isn't there some kind of work you want to do or something?
The way things are changing these days, you can prepare for a job for 10 years. And when you get there, there's no such job.
That's right. A machine's taken over, or a whole industry's been replaced.
A lot of kids feel there's no need of thinking of the future because it just may not be one. The present is all that matters.
You know, ever since we've been born, there have been wars and hydrogen bombs and races hating each other and people starving. And now it looks like if the wars don't kill us, the pollution will. And you know, nobody is really doing too much about it. You just don't know how hopeless it can feel being a kid today.
Marcella, let me tell you something. Sometimes it's not so great to be an adult either.
Do you mean the school board wants to put a stop to our rap sessions?
What'd they say?
Well, people have been complaining. The board isn't too sure that our sessions are a good idea.
Well, all we're doing is talking. What harm can there be in that?
Well, that is what they're going to tell me. I have a rap session with them Friday afternoon. Should be a barrel of laughs.
My parents freaked when they found out I'd been smoking grass, but it's not even proven that grass is bad for you, and everybody knows what tobacco can do to you and alcohol. My parents smoke and drink.
Yeah, my dad. You know what my dad said when I came home stoned? He said, if you've got to do something, why don't you go out and get drunk like a man? You got to admit, that's pretty weird behavior.
Not for a father, it ain't.
Just because alcohol and tobacco ain't no good, that doesn't mean that drugs are okay. You ever seen somebody really strung out on drugs? It may change your mind. It's bad.
Well, I've always had a hard time making friends. Well, I guess that's why I went into drugs. I mean, everybody's accepted. It's kind of nice.
My dad's an engineer, and we're always moving. I've been in 7 high schools in 4 states. I've always felt out of it. Smoke a little grass, pop a few pills, and you're in, man. Just like that.
Yeah, I used to study real hard. I was what you would call a bookworm. And on drugs, I could let loose. But it's like Jason says, once you see what it's doing to your friends, it's no longer a joke. Well, anyway, that's why I'm here.
Yeah, I felt the same way that Wendell and Gina did. I mean, it was great to feel really tight with your friends, you know? Really together. I mean, when you're stoned, everybody's beautiful and funny.
Sure, but, well, didn't you really know all the time that it was just all superficial? I mean, when you come down and you've got to face the real facts of life, well, that can be a bummer.
Okay, so when you're stoned, everything's beautiful and everybody loves you. Well, then the only logical answer to me seems to be to stay stoned. Because in this crummy world, that's the only way you're going to feel like anybody cares about you anyway.
Charlie, what we do in this room is not going to change the world. But maybe it can change us a little bit if we let it. I mean, if other people are unloving, maybe we can love. If other people don't care about anything but themselves, maybe we can learn to care about each other.
I'd like to believe that. But, well, I'll be frank with you. At least as straight as I can. Something keeps telling me that maybe you've got some other reason for doing this that you're not telling us about.
Okay, Charlie. I realize that it's not easy to suddenly trust people. But some of us are so suspicious that if we're ever going to understand each other, we're going to have to make a conscious effort. Now, I think that effort is worth a try, or I wouldn't be here.
And I think that the way things are going, more and more we're going to find that all we have is each other.
Man, I believe that. A lot of people believe it, but it's so hard.
To reach out, sure it is. Why don't we try something? An exercise. It's devised to give you a sense of being alone so that you feel the good feeling when you find somebody.
Oh, you mean one of those sensitivity things?
That's right. But it's just a way to get in touch with yourself. You game? All right, those who want to try it, leave your chairs in, and those who don't, push your chairs back. Now, everybody just close your eyes and try to feel the natural rhythm of your own breathing. You feel the weight of your body on the chair as your body and the chair become one. Breathe deep and way down and let go of your arms and legs. They don't belong to you. You're floating, drifting out past the circle, out past the room, alone. You hear my voice, but I'm not here. You're isolated. You're alone. Now reach out, straight in front of you. Reach. Reach with your fingertips. Now very, very gently move your hands to the sides and try to find the hand of the person next to you. Now open your eyes.
Come in.
Thank you.
Have a seat. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm to see you again about Charlie, Mr. Coffin. It's about these rap sessions of yours.
Oh, he told you about those, did he?
Oh, no. Hello and goodbye was all we ever got out of Charlie.
No, it was the neighbor's kid. I got sore. My kid with all those losers. Talking strangers instead of his own flesh and blood. Then comes home and said that you had them all sitting around holding hands. I blew my stack. Boys and girls and teachers holding hands. Then he told me he started crying. My Charlie. Bawling like that in front of everybody. Well, I just hit the roof. And Charlie blew up and slammed into his room. And then Claire, tell Mr. Coffin what you said, Claire.
I said, Al, this is the first time in all this time that Charlie's told us anything about himself. And you got sore and shut him off.
Well, I had to admit she was right. Finally, I went into Charlie's room. You know what? We had a talk. Even asked Claire to come in, too. Oh, it's so crazy. You love someone more than anything else in the world, and you fail them. Stuff he told us.
Tell him about Christmas.
Oh, yeah, about Christmas. Well, every Christmas I like to get him something really nice, something to show off to his pals. So to get together enough money, I take an extra job. One time I worked at the post office. Another time I drove a cab. One Christmas I worked at a department store. Guess what he told me last night?
That, he would have rather had you at home spending time with him than get the expensive presents?
That's right. How did you know?
Charlie must have told you.
No, in our sessions, the kids' need for their parents comes out over and over again.
Well, all I know is this. It's just great to be talking to our boy again.
I'm very pleased.
Well, all I know is Charlie said if it hadn't been for those sessions of yours, he might never have been able to speak to Claire and me. I don't quite agree with all that sitting around holding hands, but thanks.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kaufman.
Thank you. Thank you for coming in and telling me.
Mr. Kaufman? Hi, I'm glad I caught you.
Hi, Charlie. What's up?
Well, when some of the students heard about where you were going today, well, we went out and collected some statements on the sessions, and, well, you know, the good that they're doing, and, well, we even collected some statements from some of our parents. Here. A little evidence never hurts, huh, Mr. Kaufman?
That's right, Charlie. Thanks.
Mr. Kaufman, would it be okay if I went along with you?
Well, I'm afraid it's not that kind of a meeting, Charlie. It's just between me and the board.
Oh, well, that's all right. I just sort of like to go along. You see, my dad, well, there's even a letter in there from my dad, and I'd just like to go along with you. I'll wait outside. You might need a friend.
Come on, Charlie. Let's go.
The upshot of the whole thing was the board decided to let us continue our sessions at least until the end of the semester.
Then what?
Well, then they'll see.
You mean you couldn't convince them that we weren't doing the kids any harm?
Well, some of them thought it was a marvelous idea, but others weren't so sure.
It'd be a crime if they make us stop those sessions.
Well, it certainly won't make any of us very happy.
Then we won't do it.
What do you mean?
You mean we'll continue having the sessions even though the board tells us not to?
That's right.
Pete, you know we can't use the school for something the school board doesn't permit.
Who said anything about using the school? I have an apartment. We can continue to meet there. The school board surely can't tell me I can have my own home.
Hey, we can even use my apartment for a change.
And mine, too.
Like a floating crap game.
Right. So, until then, business goes on as usual in room 222.
Hello, Mr. Cowles? Yes, I wanted to talk to you about this plan to put a uniformed policeman on our campus. No, I know we have that, but I assure you a blue uniform will make the situation much worse, not better. Well, who do I talk to? Well, no. Now, wait a minute now, Mr. Cowles. Now, I spoke to him, and he referred me to you. Now... Uh-huh. Yeah, well, when does Mr. Landry get back from his vacation? Yes. Okay, thank you.
You all right?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
What did the doctor say?
Oh, nothing much. He said I have every ailment that a human being can have and a few that only horses are supposed to get. What you got?
A requisition for gym equipment.
Oh, you're joking. I signed that 3 weeks ago.
Yes, but they lost it downtown. Meanwhile, that form obsolesced and the new one was held up at the printers, and they want us to reapply.
Well, I say if you're going to get turned down, it might as well be on the proper form.
So he said, you can't call me that. And so I said, I can call you anything I want to. And then he said, who said so? And then I said, the First Amendment said so. So he said, I got him there, so he pushes me. So I pushes him back. And just then Mr. Windish comes up. And he didn't see his push, he did. He just seen mine.
That's it?
Yeah.
Jason, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't take it to the Supreme Court. The First Amendment does not grant the right of insult. Now, you go apologize to Stanley Ladislaus and don't let me see you in my office again, yeah?
Yes, sir. And if you do see me, I'll try and make it a social call.
Hold it. Okay, tomorrow we'll discuss the War of 1812 and see what interest it did have. Dismissed.
Oh, Pete.
Oh, hi. You look a little tired.
No sleep. I was up all night hammering out the departmental breakdown on this new budget. Pete, I'm afraid I'm going to have to tell you I'm sorry again about your new textbooks.
Me too. I thought we were supposed to have them 3 weeks ago.
Well, I did too, but Amos Wardlaw, the new member of the school board, is conducting an investigation to make sure that the author of those textbooks is not a subversive.
Just because he spent a month in Russia?
Nobody's going to go on record as being soft on a possible communist during an election year. Hi.
Hi.
So urgent.
Robbie Carver, remember him?
It's a kid that got in trouble last year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was in correctional school.
He was. He's out on probation now. And they've sent him to Van Buren High.
So? They don't usually keep kids in the same school they were in when they got in trouble. You know that.
Well, they sometimes are except... Miss McIntyre. Yes, he is.
Thank you. Hello. Mrs. Wheeler, yes. Oh, no. Thank you, Mrs. Wheeler. School bond was defeated.
Well, we kind of expected it, didn't we?
Well, I don't know. It was close. I thought maybe... You know, there seems to be a popular notion that education is just manufactured out of air and waters and is not supposed to cost any money. I don't know what they expect us to accomplish with a kind of a budget. Okay. What about Robbie Carver?
The boys he got in trouble with last year go to Van Buren. It's the worst possible place for him. He's terribly vulnerable. We got to try to get him back here. We just have to.
Yes, I don't know that we have to. I've got reports to study, recommendations to look at.
Mr. Kaufman, take my recommendation. Make your own report.
Okay, see if you can get him in here tomorrow. I'll talk to him.
What about right now? Robbie?
Robbie, how are you?
Okay, Mr. Kaufman. Nice to see you again.
Good to see you, Robbie. I understand you're not too thrilled with Van Buren.
Mr. Kaufman, I know I have no right to be choosy. I know it's up to me what I do with my life and all that stuff. But like, if I stay at Van Buren, you see, there are these guys.
I told him, Robbie.
You know, Robbie, there are going to be guys any place you go. I mean, I think you just have to learn to choose your friends more carefully.
Oh, it's not that easy, man. Well, like, you know, I'm a big shot over there, being in correctional school. You know, they follow me around. They look up to me.
What makes you think it's going to be any different here at Whitman?
Because, well, I'm not much, Mr. Kaufman. I never was. Maybe in my whole life, there's only been 2 people that ever made me feel like I was somebody. Well, that's Miss McIntyre and you. If I'm gonna make it, I have to be here.
Okay, Robbie. I'll make some phone calls. Hang in, I'll see what I can do.
Thanks, Mr. Kaufman.
The superintendent says his hands are tied. Mr. Cowles, I am drowning in channels. A boy's future may be at stake here. Well, something's got to be... all right, good. Who? Oh, yeah, Charlie Fielding. All right, where can I reach him? When will he be back from Washington, Mr. Cowles? Yes.
Mr. Kaufman, my senior play opens in 2 weeks, and I'm really desperate for my muslin.
Muslin?
Yeah, you know, for the angel costumes, 14 yards. Did you forget?
I'll order it today, Miss Johnson.
Good. Hi.
Hi. Oh, speaking of phone calls, that reminds me. I better try Fielding again.
Still no action on Robbie?
14 phone calls, nothing.
Oh, Mr. Kaufman, there must be another way. I mean, there must be. We can't leave that boy in that school.
Miss McIntyre, what would you like me to do? Excuse me, folks, I'm sorry. Miss McIntyre, I'm sorry.
I'm Mrs. Vogel. Could I talk to you for a minute?
Well, right now, Mrs. Vogel,
Oh, please.
All right, come on. Have a seat, Mrs. Vogel.
It's about Leonard's saxophone lessons. He tells me the man who gives the free lessons is leaving the school.
Yes, unfortunately, due to the failure of the school bond, we won't be able to keep our musical instructor.
Mr. Kaufman, my Leonard is not what you'd call a very intelligent boy. Just between us, you should see what a difference, all of a sudden, when he puts the saxophone in his mouth. It's a whole new boy.
Mrs. Vogel, I can appreciate what the saxophone does for Leonard, but I don't know what to tell you.
Now, I know you only got so much money to work with. Me too. But you're supposed to be giving kids a way to live after they leave here. Well, with Leonard, it's not books. It's the saxophone.
Mrs. Vogel, we can only hope that one of these days soon the taxpayers will vote us the money to hire back our musical instructor. Until then, I'm sorry.
You take time out from work to do for your kid. Nobody cares. Genuine inherited musical talent, and nobody cares.
She's right. Nobody cares.
Oh, come on, Liz. What's wrong now?
I just got a call from Robbie Carver's mother. He was arrested today. A kid from that Van Buren High gang was busted for pot, and Robbie just happened to be in the car with him.
Speak to Mr. Fielding. Tell him it's too late.
Harvard. It's too late for Leonard Bogle. Maybe it's not too late for me.
Mr. Kaufman?
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Kaufman. Mr. Kaufman, we heard, well, I mean...
Is it true that you're splitting?
Splitting? Oh, I seem to be together pretty good.
Hey, Mr. Kaufman, we just want you to know we think you should think about it.
Thank you, Jason. But everybody wants me to think about something that I've been thinking about for a long, long time. I'm taking a year's sabbatical. I'm tired. I need a rest. After that, we'll see. This day has been something else. You know, all day long, I've had people telling me, little boy, why don't you just get yourself some sleep and you'll come back fine tomorrow. It's not like that, Pete. I've made a thought-out decision.
I know you have, but that doesn't mean we have to like it. We are affected, you know.
Well, I appreciate that, but I can't change my mind because of it either. I mean, a man gets to the end of his rope, he's either got to jump or hang himself.
What brought it to a head, Robbie Carver?
Well, that triggered it, I guess. But it's not just one thing. That's the trouble. It never is. It's evasion and red tape and going through channels, and then the channels dry up on you.
Like fighting shadows, huh?
That's the trouble. You see, I can fight as well as the next guy. Just give me a solid enemy. But these people that don't say what they mean, or they don't mean what they say, or they don't say anything because it's safer that way. I can't fight those people anymore, Pete. I've had it.
But maybe you're accomplishing more than you think you are. And maybe you're underestimating the value of your services around here.
No, I don't think so.
Do you have any idea how the kids feel about your leaving?
Well, they'll feel bad for a week, and then they'll adjust. Kids always do. That's a great thing about them. You see, Pete, I'm tired. I want out.
Oh, hi, Alice. Oh, no. Is it definite? Yeah. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye. Just got some great news. Guess who Mr. Kaufman's replacement is going to be?
My old buddy Casey?
You should be so lucky. Paul Freebush.
Yeah, well,
I wonder if Mr. Kaufman knows about that yet.
I'm sure he does. Why?
I should think that would have some effect on his plans.
Not in his state of mind.
Oh, I don't believe that, Pete. How can he go knowing he's going to be replaced by a man who tells the papers that any student who refuses to cut his hair should be expelled?
Well, Mr. Kaufman sees an open door after 18 years, and he's not looking back.
Maybe we have to find a way to get his attention.
Like what?
Well, some of the students have been after me to throw a surprise farewell party for Mr. Kaufman.
He won't like it. But it is a good idea.
And maybe we can have a surprise guest. Why don't we invite Paul Freebush?
Pete, you know how I hate amateur theatricals. This historical drama you're dragging me to better be more important than my appointment at the barber shop.
You are a conscientious administrator right up to the end, aren't you? I know it.
We sure gonna miss you around here, man.
Right.
Well, why do I feel like I'm on the Queen Mary?
Well, my uncle gave us what he had left over from his flower shop, but we all figured you'd understand the sentiment.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you all very much.
Come on, Helen. Now it's your turn.
This is from all of us, Mr. Kaufman. Pam did the artwork.
That's very good, Pam.
Go on, Mr. Kaufman. Read it.
Well, we'll all remember Whitman High with memories so dear, the games we've played, the friends we've made, the growing we've done here. But of the people we'll recall, one stands above the rest. Our Mr. Kaufman, strong and tall, we'll always love the best.
time. Take a look.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, pretty.
Thank you all.
Pretty. Nice big piece. There it is. Ooh, how's that?
Thank you, Miss Johnson.
Okay.
Thank you. Paul, hello. I didn't see you in all this commotion.
Seymour, I feel a bit out of place, to tell you the truth.
Tell you the truth, so do I. Pete, you know I hate surprise parties.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Paul Freebush, this is Mr. Dixon, Miss McIntyre.
How do you do?
Acquainted with the persuasive Miss McIntyre, as we've spoken on the phone.
Why don't we all sit down here?
I persuaded Mr. Freebush to come today to sort of break the ice with the kids. We've been having a fascinating discussion.
Oh?
Yes, Miss McIntyre has some very liberal ideas.
What on earth were you two discussing?
We were talking about discipline, Mr. Kaufman.
Correction, my dear young lady. We were talking about lack of discipline and what happens when you remove the security of tried and true regulations from young people.
I didn't know we were talking about soldiers, Paul.
Oh, come on, Seymour. You know as well as I do it's the survival of the fittest.
I know that some survive and some don't. Who's to say that it's the fittest that survive?
Seymour, I really believe your decision to take a sabbatical at this time is a wise one.
Oh, you do? Why?
You sound as if you can't tell the difference between healthy apples and rotten ones.
Paul, you sound like you can't tell the difference between rotten apples and human beings.
In matters of discipline, there is no difference. In order to save the healthy ones, you get rid of the rotten ones.
Has the thought ever occurred to you that the rotten ones need our attention as well as the others?
The schools have their functions. The jails have theirs.
Well, I guess the only question is, which one are we?
Whoever your future husband is, Miss McIntyre, he's got himself a handful. Well, I have to leave. Nice meeting you both. Seymour, we'll be in touch. Excuse me.
Prison's lost a first-class warden when Paul decided to become a school administrator. I may reconsider. But I may not. In any case, please don't think that you've fooled anyone with this obvious little maneuver. And so, if it'll help, I'm volunteering to come to Sacramento at my own expense to give the Education Committee my views on the importance, on the desperate importance of these additional funds. Yours truly, etc., 3 copies. Okay? Thank you. All right.
Well,
Now, what are you grinning at?
Just heard the word. I don't have to tell you how glad I am, do I?
Well, I appreciate it, especially since I still don't have your textbook. You know, Pete, it wasn't just Freebush that decided me, although he helped. I got a letter last night when I got home from my son. I'd written him that I was quitting, and he sent me a letter that he'd received when he was thinking about quitting the Peace Corps. Here, take a look.
I understand you're wanting to quit the Peace Corps. I understand your disgust and frustrations with the red tape and the politics, and your feelings of impotence and uselessness. You say you are of no value, but you are wrong, because when people like you quit, they tend to be replaced by people who don't care and who don't fight. And when nobody's fighting, everybody's losing. Ask the guy who called you a bleeding heart what hope he thinks there is for the world, except in hearts that bleed. With love always. Dad? You wrote this?
That'd be a lesson to you anytime you feel like giving somebody advice. You may have to eat your own words.
morning.
Hi, Peter. Excuse me. I'm glad I caught you before you went to your first class.
So am I. Let's grab a cup of coffee.
We don't have time.
What do you mean we don't have time? 20 minutes before school starts.
Yes, but our meeting with Mr. Kaufman starts right now.
Meeting? What meeting?
The meeting Mr. Kaufman and I decided we should have with you this morning before your new student gets here.
I can't fit another student into my homeroom.
I know.
I've got kids in there now that need my individual attention, and I can't give it to them because I don't have time. You know, I get the feeling that I've made this speech before.
You did. Last week this time.
When we asked you to sponsor the debate club.
Then why?
Pete, because everyone's classes are overcrowded. I get this same speech from all of my teachers, the ones that care.
But this student is very special, and we thought he should be in your class.
Why is he special?
Because his coming here is part of an experimental program being sponsored by an organization called Opportunity for Youth.
The program's designed to help kids who are advanced but are held back by their circumstances.
I guess you might say Billy Sosi is the test case.
Billy
Sosi.
Sosi.
Billy is a Navajo Indian from a reservation in Utah. There's a family in our school district that's sponsoring him. Now, from all the reports I've read, he's overcome a lot of obstacles, and he's really an exceptional student.
Pete, I've got great hopes for this program. I know if it works here, other schools will pick it up.
That's why we put him in your class.
Okay, what were some of the other problems the settlers encountered moving west? Frank?
Yeah, well, most of those dudes were from the city and couldn't take that long, hard trip. And a lot of them died on the way. So you might say death was a problem.
Well, yeah. Sometimes the kids lost their parents on the way and had to do the best they could on their own.
True. Oh, man. If you fellas have something to add to the discussion, why don't you share it with the rest of us?
Well, we were just agreeing on what Helen had to say.
What did Helen say?
Well, I really didn't hear that well, but I certainly do agree on all points.
Come on, man. We can't jive the cat. Mr. Dixon, what we was trying to do is straighten out something we heard this morning.
What's that, Jason?
Oh, we heard that it was going to be this new cat coming to the school, and he was a real Navajo Indian.
Yeah, he can give us the Indian side of all that stuff we've been studying.
Oh, I'm glad to see you guys looking forward to his joining the class.
Yeah, 'cause it ain't too cool learning about the frontier out of all those textbooks, and that Indian can tell us like it really was.
Excuse me, Mr. Dixon? Come on.
He's got better timing than the cavalry.
This is Billy Sosi. Billy, I'll see you later.
Come on in, Billy. We have a seat for you right behind Bernie there.
That's me.
Billy, we were discussing the period after 1865 and the push toward the west by the settlers. I hope that you'll have something to add to it.
Hey, yeah, tell us what you think about the settlers trying to civilize the Indians. Yeah, what did you think about that?
Yeah, tell us the truth, man.
Wait a minute. Don't you think we ought to give Billy a little time to get settled first?
Billy, I know you like Whitman a lot. The kids are really friendly.
Say, we're going to save you a place at lunch, okay?
Yeah.
See you there.
Yeah, and if you have any problems, you just let us know, okay?
Hey, man, where's your next class?
English, Miss Johnson.
Hey, man, that's my next class, too.
Oh, yeah?
Man, I'll show you where it's at. Come on.
Oh, Billy. Nice to have you with us.
Thanks.
Hey, Billy, over here. Hey, man, have a seat. We've been saving you a place.
Yeah, man, jump on in, man.
How you doing? Kemosabe? Huh? Kemosabe is a Lone Ranger. I thought it was an Indian word.
It's not a Navajo word.
Well, it just goes to show you, never trust the Lone Ranger.
How are your classes, Billy?
Oh, they're okay, I guess. Except they're very far ahead of where I was at the reservation school.
Oh, yeah? What's the reservation school like?
But?
Hey, yeah, what did you major in? War paint?
It's just a school.
Why don't you speak a little Indian for us?
Say, man, why don't you get off it?
I'm only kidding.
Hey, Billy, where'd you get the silver belt?
My uncle made it.
Do you dress like that on the reservation?
Huh? Well, what she means is, nobody dresses like that unless they're on a reservation.
I did not mean that.
You want me to speak Indian? Yeah. The geese. Hey, what does that mean? It means you're crazy. Hey, wait a minute, I didn't mean anything. Hey, I was just joking.
Scott!
I can't help it if you can't take a joke.
Man, you wouldn't know a joke if it came up and hit you in your mouth.
Hey, Billy. I'm sorry for what I said at lunch today. I have a habit of saying stupid things, you know, just for a laugh. Forget it.
By the mid-1880s, the Indian wars had ceased, and most of the Indians were gathered on the reservation. Pam, the Dawes Act of 1887, how did it tie into this period of history?
Well, it said that every Indian was entitled to some land from the government. The head of a family could claim as much as 160 acres.
160 acres? They're rich.
Yeah, but the government didn't give the Indians the land. It just sort of let them use it.
You couldn't sell it or use it as security for a mortgage or anything.
But wasn't that supposed to protect the Indian from land speculators and other people who were trying to take advantage of them?
Let's hear it for Big Brother Sam.
Yeah, it's like the government gave the Indians their own private little reservations.
Billy, what do you think?
Huh?
I said the Dawes Act was designed to protect the Indian. Do you think it did that?
Sure. I mean, that's what the book says, isn't it?
Just giving a man a piece of land doesn't make him free. I mean, it was their land in the first place.
Then what was the purpose of the Dawes Act?
To Americanize the Indian.
How do you Americanize somebody who's already an American?
Yeah, they should have been Americanizing the pale face.
It's a very interesting point, Jason. Billy, do you think the Dawes Act helped or hurt the American Indian?
Hi there.
Hi.
Oh, either I said something wrong, which is kind of hard to do with just hi, or you just lost your best friend.
Not a friend, but I may have lost a student.
Who?
Billy Sosi.
Oh, no, Pete, what's wrong?
I'm not sure. I can't get him to respond in class. Oh, he answers all of my questions, but the answers are right out of a book. I know he has opinions, but he refuses to give them.
Don't tell me. You're talking about Billy Sosi, right?
Not you, too.
Can't get him to say much in my class either. And you know what else?
I'm afraid to ask.
I don't think he has any friends.
I've noticed that. You know, when he first came to this school, the kids couldn't wait to get at him. Now they hardly pay any attention to him at all. Except for Jason.
Jason?
Yeah, they're together all the time.
Well, then at least he has one friend.
Yeah.
Jason may be his friend, but as far as Billy is concerned, he's alone. See you tomorrow.
Bye. Bye.
Jason, you go about 5 and then you go to the sideline, all right? Frank, you go 3 steps and turn around. I don't want to hear anything. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Let's go.
Hey, man, wait a minute. You forgot to tell Billy where he goes.
So who cares?
Hey, man, tell him where to go.
Just go on.
Hey! man, I'm calling you Soaring Eagle, the fastest redskin on the block.
That's not very funny.
Woo! Hey, circle the wagon. He's on the warpath.
Take that back.
Hey, man, what do you mean?
I said take that back.
Hey, man, what are you talking about? I didn't say nothing for you to get mad. Come on. Hey, Jake. Hey, man, what's wrong with you? Hey, man, what take that back? Come on, hey, man. Man. All right. Man, look. I don't want to. Come on, fight you, man. Come on, man. Come on. Don't fight. Hey, man. Guess you could say it was my fault, Mr. Kaufman.
You hit him first.
Well, that's not exactly the way it went. But still, it was my fault. I said something to him that made him lose his cool. That's why he jumped on me.
I don't need your help. I started it, okay? And I don't need him or anyone else to take the blame.
Billy, Jason was just trying to be your friend.
He's always trying to help with everything. Show me to my classes. You take up for me in front of the other kids. You even tried to make me fit in with the others. Let me tell you something. I can take care of myself. I've done it all my life, and I can do it now.
Oh, Billy? Billy?
Just a minute. Why'd you do that to Jason? The only thing that he's guilty of is trying to be your friend.
He wasn't trying to be my friend. He's just like all the rest of them.
Now, what's that supposed to mean?
Well, the only reason he ever paid any attention to me, the only reason any of them ever paid any attention to me, is because I'm an Indian. A novelty. Well, I'm tired of being the Indian.
Wait a minute. You didn't give me a chance to say I was sorry yesterday.
Hey, were you going to a rain dance?
Come on, man. What are you trying to prove? Why you dress up like that?
What did you want me to wear? Everyone wants me to look like something out of a John Wayne movie. But I didn't want to disappoint them.
Man, you some kind of a weird dude. Everybody in this school try to be your friend, and all you do is get all bent out of shape.
I don't have any friends here.
You better believe it, man. It's because you won't let them. That's why.
What would you know about it? When has anybody ever stared at you because you were different? When has anybody ever not accepted you for what you are?
You're something else, man. You know that. Where do you think I come from, man? An ice cream factory? You want to know what it's like where I come from? What am I standing here talking to you for? If you can't recognize a brother, you're sure not going to be able to recognize a friend.
He says he wants to drop out of the program. He wants to go back to the reservation school.
Did you ask him why?
He wouldn't tell me. He just says he doesn't belong here.
What about that family he's living with? Have you spoken to them?
Yes, I did. They want to help. But it's like Billy's built a wall around himself.
Oh, there's got to be something we can do. This program is so important. I don't want to see it just go down the drain. Billy is one of a few test cases. Will you listen to me? Test cases. You're not just a test case. He's a young boy. And he's given up.
Maybe he hasn't totally given up.
I tried every way I know to reach him. He wouldn't open up to me. You're welcome to try, Pete.
Nice out here, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
You mind if we talk a little? You missed a lot of classes today.
Yeah. I've been sitting here looking at the sky. Sometimes when I look at the sky, it reminds me of home.
That where you wish you were now?
Yeah, I guess so. It's funny, you know, when I was a little kid, I used to like living on the reservation. When I grew a little older and it seemed like all there was dirt, I thought if I could just get away from there, I'd really be free. So I worked real hard at school, so that if I ever got the chance, I could go someplace else, you know? Be something. A somebody. When the program picked me, I thought, wow, I've really got it made now. I might as well be back with my people. I thought things would be different for me. I thought I could change the way things are. But I was wrong.
You know something, Billy? Coming here to Whitman isn't a way for you to escape. It's a way for you to do something positive. Now, if you fail or give up, don't blame it on the way things are. Blame it on yourself. You see, I think the only one who's worried about your being an Indian is you.
What do you mean? I'm proud to be a Navajo.
Then why aren't you standing up in class telling those kids about it? They're not asking you questions about the reservation to get you mad. They're interested. They want to know about your people, what they have to say. Now, if you're as proud as you say you are, you tell them.
Good morning, Mr. Dixon.
Good morning, good morning. Okay. Yesterday we were talking about the Americanization of the Indian in the latter part of the 19th century. Now, can anybody tell me
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Dixon.
Glad you could make it. Okay. Now, can anybody tell me some of the problems that arose in trying to assimilate the Indian into the American lifestyle?
Yeah. I can't see why it would be so hard when the government just gave them the land.
Billy?
You have to understand that for generations, the Indian had been taught a different concept of land than the white man. I mean, to the Indian, land was like water or air or sunshine. He just didn't understand how someone could own that.
But I thought the Burke Act of 1906 gave the Indian the opportunity to own his own land.
No, you don't understand. You see, there was nothing in the Indians' tradition that had prepared them to be individual farmers. And those that were ready to make a change in their way of life were usually given the worst possible kind of farmland. To the Indian, land was almost sacred. Hey, Jason. Yeah. Wait up. How about to say I'm sorry for jumping you the other day?
That's okay, man. No hard feelings.
Well, looks like Billy really has a new friend now.
Yep, I'd say so.
Yeah, you know, I knew he'd work out just fine as soon as he settled into things. I figure he's just going through a phase.
You did, huh?
Sure, he just had to learn to adapt to a new environment. Isn't it wonderful? I mean, no matter who you are or where you come from, you can fit in right here at Walt Whitman High.
Oh, it's... I'm going to be late for class.
Oh, you're right. Hey, see you later. Bye. Now, here we see a small Paris cafe where James Joyce often met Ernest Hemingway. Now, Joyce was almost blind, and to be quite honest, he was somewhat of a troublemaker. He used to start fights all the time, and then when a man would double up his fist, Joyce would put on his thick glasses and turn to Hemingway and say, "Take care of him, Ernest."
Man, that Joyce is lucky he didn't get hit from both sides.
Okay, class, that's it. Will someone get the blinds, please? And Bernie, take down the screen for me, please.
Miss Johnson, is something wrong?
Well, I thought I had oh, that's silly. It's nothing. I want you to all write down your impressions of James Joyce, the man, versus James Joyce, the writer. You have 10 minutes. Helen, will you please take over the class for me? Begin working. Thank you. Oh, hi. Liz.
I'm next.
No, this is an emergency. What happened? I was showing slides and somebody took a $20 bill out of my purse.
Just now?
During class. Look, I don't know what to do. I mean, if I expose him, I could ruin him. And if I let him get away with it, it might set a whole pattern. I mean, who knows? It might lead to something worse. Either way, I could ruin his entire life.
Whose life, Alice?
That's just it. I don't know.
Now, wait a minute, Alice. Are you absolutely sure you had the $20 in your purse?
Positive.
Maybe you left it in the other purse.
I had the money with me. The question is should I let it go?
Well, if somebody stole your money, you can't just let it go. You got to do something.
All right, then the question is what?
Well, I am all out of suggestions for today.
Suggestions. That's it. Hey, thanks.
Now, what were you saying?
About what?
Well, no, when class started, I had $20 in my purse. And it disappeared when the room was dark. I want the person who took it to put it in an envelope, address it to me, and drop it in the school suggestion box. No questions asked. Class dismissed.
Don't look at me, I'm clean. Now, who takes it?
A thief.
That makes sense.
Hey, man, you're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
Hey, wait a minute.
Silence. What do you want to do? Interfere with your civil rights?
Anything you say can and will be held against you in the court of law.
I don't want to die, Mom.
Write that down.
Now, if I could write, you think I'd be here?
Well, I guess we're going to let you off, but you're going to have to come by and buy a raffle ticket.
Let's see how many we can sell before lunch while they still got money.
Okay.
Boys!
Say, Roy. Hey, what's the first prize?
Stereo record player.
Big.
I wish it was a new father. I'd buy a dozen tickets.
You mean your old man split again?
Yeah, when the bills come in, he goes out.
That isn't funny.
Who's laughing?
Well, I mean, when he splits, what do you do?
You get some part-time job, man. What do you think? Hey, Mr. Kaufman, you want to buy a raffle ticket for only 25 cents?
All right.
How many you going to take?
One.
Just one.
Jason, I have bought a dozen tickets to every activity in this school, and I always lose. This time we'll try one. Good luck to me.
I mean, that's all the money I had with me. I don't even have car fare.
Alice, the ride is free.
Oh. Pete,
What?
we've got a problem.
Boy, I think I must be a jinx.
Well, look, tell me about it on the way.
We can't.
What do you mean you can't? What's wrong?
We've got a flat tire. Boy, some free ride.
Flat as a pancake, honey. We can still make it to the store before it closes.
Yeah. Oh, great.
What's the matter? What is it?
Somebody stole my spare tire.
Are you sure?
Of course I'm sure, Alice. It's not there.
Maybe you left it in your other car.
Look,
good morning, Jimmy.
Hi, Mr. Dixon.
It's a nice bike you got. I wish I had one like that yesterday.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Hi, Mr. Dixon.
Hi, Butch.
Oh, Jimmy, I've been trying to catch you. Here's the $10 I owe you.
Oh, good. Man, I didn't think I was going to see this for a month.
Yeah, I got lucky. Oh, with the job.
Where you working?
Oh, across town.
Is your dad still alive?
Yeah.
What kind of work does your father do?
Oh, he's a salesman, Mr. Dixon. Oh, when he works. When he doesn't work, he's away. And he's away a lot.
That's pretty tough.
Yeah. Oh, we gotta go. Bye, Mr. Dixon.
See you.
Do you have any idea what that looks like without music?
Oh, I got music.
It's a radio.
And so close to the eardrum.
I thought it was a hearing aid.
So did I. I've been yelling at him for weeks. See ya.
Okay, bye.
I don't know. I just wish the boys wouldn't stare all the time. Honey, don't move around so much in class.
Hey, look.
Oh, my goodness.
In the suggestion box.
Well, it certainly is suggestive.
I didn't think you could misspell that word.
$20, your spare tire, and now this.
Oh, I don't think that note ties into anything.
Neither do I. It's not that original.
Oh, really? Gee, I thought it was. Maybe that's because it was my first.
You know, it just occurs to me, how could anyone get in the trunk of your car?
I don't know. Maybe somebody took the keys out of my jacket pocket.
Maybe you better teach with it on for a few days.
Good thinking. Maybe we ought to take a look at my classroom, huh?
Returning to the scene of the crime?
Right.
Why not?
I have a class.
It's all right. We can handle it ourselves.
Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson, huh?
I was showing slides, and there were approximately 30 students in the room sitting.
I have a rough idea where your students sit. Now, where was your purse?
It was on the desk, and I was over there.
Where was the screen?
Oh, right here.
Was there a lot of commotion when you were setting up?
Well, I got my finger stuck in it at first, but then I had a boy set it up for me.
Do you remember who?
Well, sure, it was... No, he was sitting over here. Oh, it was... No.
It's all right. Where was the projector?
Right over here.
What's the matter?
Well, it was right here.
I know, you just said that.
Well, what I mean is it was right here, and now it's gone. Hi.
Good morning. What's the matter?
Oh, what makes you think something's the matter?
I just sat down with a cup of coffee, didn't I? It stands to reason something's the matter.
Well, we do have a problem.
You see that?
A slide projector's missing.
A what?
And that's not all.
Not all.
Yesterday, somebody stole $20 out of my purse while I was showing slides. Pete didn't believe me.
He didn't say that, Alice.
Please, get to the projector.
It's missing.
I heard that. Why is it missing? Is it stolen?
We think so.
We're looking for a pattern.
I agree. Have you reported any of this to the police?
Nope.
We're reporting it to you.
Yes, thank you. You say Pete's spare tire is missing, too?
Mm-hmm.
Would you have Pete see me in my office as soon as he's free? Thank you. I know I'd never get a whole cup of coffee. Has anything else been misplaced around this school that no one's telling me about?
Not that I know of.
It's like some kid's out to make himself some extra money.
Yeah, maybe you're... What are you going to do?
Call the police.
Or would you hold off a minute?
Why?
Well, I got an idea I want to check out.
What ideas, Pete? Oh, wait a minute. You mean about who did it?
Yeah.
Who?
Well, I don't want to say until I look into it.
Pete, I have to report it. This is stealing.
I know, but will you just give me a little time?
Okay. You got an hour and a half.
An hour and a half?
Sure, you can work wonders in an hour and a half.
But that's not enough. Hi, fellas. Is Butch around?
I ain't seen him. Hey, Mr. Dixon, you want to buy a raffle ticket?
What for?
The boys' band. Lots of wild prizes.
Is one of them a projector?
No, man.
Oh, never mind. Okay, I'll take one.
Mr. Kaufman, he bought a dozen.
No kidding.
Okay, one.
You still think it's Butch?
For one thing, where is he?
Pete, it's a big school, especially at lunchtime. A kid could be anywhere.
Lunchtime. I got a meeting with Mr. Kaufman. I guess he's going to have to call the police. I'll let you know what happens.
You better.
Need some help, Jimmy? Hi.
What's going on?
I don't know, but maybe now we can find out.
Well, what are you going to do with the typewriter?
Look, Jimmy, if there's anything you want to tell us, now's the time.
Jimmy, do you know what the word felony means? You know what happens once it gets on your record? All right, wait outside, please.
Well, what do you say?
I say now I call the police.
Just doesn't add up.
It doesn't add up. With an electric typewriter, a projector, some cash, and your spare tire, I'd say it adds up to something like $700.
Yeah, but why did he pick this particular time to steal the typewriter?
Because I was out to lunch.
And I was on my way to your office to keep an appointment. Now, he heard me make that appointment.
Well, what are you saying, that he wanted you to catch him?
Well, if he wanted me to catch him, that was the way to do it.
Well, even if, Pete, that doesn't mean we're going to let him get away with it.
What puzzles me is that, well, he's not a troublemaker. He's a good student. Why does he suddenly decide to become a thief?
Well, that's for the police to investigate.
That's what I'm worried about. You said it yourself. A felony rap can follow a kid around for the rest of his life. Wait a minute. What's the first thing that the police do when a kid is involved in a crime?
Call his parents, I guess. Why should I? I know, a felony rap. Oh, boy, now I don't know who to call, the police or his parents. Oh, yeah, Miss Hogarth. Look, would you call, Jimmy Thompson's parents for me, please? Tell him I'd like to see him as soon as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Hogarth. His parents will be here tomorrow.
No.
Find anything?
Nothing we didn't see before. Grades are excellent. Iowa score high. No discipline problems. And no hint of anything out of the ordinary. Why won't they be here today?
Scheduling problem, getting them together.
What do you mean?
They split up.
Oh. To understand the history of America in the past century, you have to understand the increase in personal mobility. In the old days, people stayed pretty much in one place. They lived together. Children, parents, grandparents, even unmarried aunts. The lifestyle was set, and the man grew up expecting to do pretty much the same thing that his father did. But today, things have changed. People are scattered. Mobility has brought with it a change of values, a change of lifestyles.
Oh, you mean like communes?
Communes aren't exactly new, but they are an example. What else?
Smaller families.
Right.
More divorces.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think people today feel the necessity to stay married? Fran?
Well, I think maybe marriage is a thing of the past.
Well, family life is breaking down. We all suffer the effects of that. The big question is, how does it affect you? Have you thought about it?
I've thought about it a lot. My mother's been married 5 times. And what's really embarrassing is when you're out with one father and you run into another father.
Must be great at Christmas time.
We'll try it on Father's Day.
Well, check this out. My cousin folks split up. Then they got back together. Now everything's the same way it was before.
Rotten.
I don't see any point in people staying married when they don't like each other anymore.
Well, suppose they have children.
Well, I guess that would make it even tougher to decide.
I think the reason they stay married is because of the kids.
You care to comment on that, Jimmy?
No.
Thank you. Jimmy? Your parents are in Mr. Carlton's office.
Here you go, friend. 3rd prize, a magnificent, completely transistorized radio.
I'll bet you it doesn't even have batteries. Yeah, I was right.
Be nice to me, and maybe I can work something out.
I'd rather be nice to Godzilla.
Hey, Mr. Dixon, guess what? You won 4th prize, lunch for 2 at the Pizza Parlor, man.
Well, thank you, Jason. I don't know what to say.
You know what to say when you get to lunch.
No, that's perfectly all right. Take all the time you need. Any messages?
Yes, Mr. Henry called.
Morris?
Uh-huh, he said it was urgent.
I'll call him tomorrow.
But he said it was urgent.
Miss Hogarth, Napoleon let everything sit on his desk for 3 months before he thought it was urgent.
Actually, he was noted for being very prompt in his correspondence. My nephew did his thesis on Napoleon.
Is there any other news?
Well, the baseball coach was complaining again.
That's not news. Is that all?
No.
Oh, look, let's let the rest wait, please. You know, Miss Hogarth, sometimes I wonder if January 15th will ever come again.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, I guess that was before you came here. There was one January 15th I'll never forget.
Oh? What happened?
Nothing. Nothing at all. All day long.
What's happened?
Oh, the misplaced objects are all going to be returned. Jimmy wanted to talk to his parents alone for a few minutes. You know why I think he did it?
Why?
To get his parents back together again.
How's that going to get his parents back together?
Well, by showing him how much he needs them, how much their split is affecting him.
Oh, I see.
You know, I don't condone what he did, but I hope it works. They seem like nice people. Jimmy?
Didn't work, did it? Mr. Dixon, what do you do when you've tried as hard as you can to make something work, but then it just doesn't turn out right?
Try to adjust to it.
But that's not enough.
Never has been. You know something, Jimmy? Your parents are probably as unhappy about this as you are. Need your understanding as much as you need theirs.
Well, that's what they said, but then that's putting it all on me.
Not all. But the older you get, the more you have to share in the problems.
But this is their problem. It's not mine.
Really?
All right, it's mine too. But what I mean is, I didn't create it. It's not fair that I be in the middle.
I didn't say it was fair.
Just the way it is. Did you ever have to adjust to this kind of problem?
Not this one specifically, but I have had to adjust.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see you tomorrow.
Your historical review.
Thank you. Ready?
Let's go. I'm starved.
Hey.
Oh, there you are.
Hi.
Why didn't you take us out to lunch?
I was just taking Mr. Kaufman to lunch. How about that? We're going to the pizza parlor. Would you care to join us?
The pizza parlor.
Are you kidding?
Pete Dixon.
Well, look, it's for a good cause. Come on now, I realize the food isn't the greatest food in the world.
That's a great bumper sticker you got there, Mr. Dixon. You'll be the talk of your whole neighborhood.
I hope not, Herbie. Tell me something, though. How'd you happen to get into the bumper sticker business?
Well, I was looking for something that was cheap to make, easy to merchandise, and had a ready market.
Well, you found it.
Yeah, but I don't want to limit myself. I mean, I've got some big plans for expansion. Mr. Dragan. Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Mr. Dragan.
Hey, Mr. Dixon.
Oh, hi, fellas.
Hey, that Herbie's some hustling dude, ain't he?
Sure is.
I wish I could work like that without having to work so hard.
You're gonna get plenty of time to relax this summer, brother.
How come?
Everything's gonna stop, Mr. Dixon, for 3 months, the whole economy.
How do you figure that?
Well, everybody we talked to when we went to look for work.
Well, let me talk to Miss McIntyre. She can always come up with a job.
Won't do no good, Mr. Dixon. Miss McIntyre's already trying to hustle jobs for us, like Herbie's trying to hustle for himself. But she ain't selling as much.
Hey, what did Herbie hit you for this time?
Oh, I'll show you, Hoops.
Miss Johnson, Miss McIntyre.
Uh-oh, Herbie Considine.
What's he selling now?
Bumper stickers for openers. Keep moving.
Miss Johnson, Miss McIntyre.
Where you going?
My classroom.
Good, I'm going to the library. Let's split.
Hey, that's good. Then you can only get one of us.
Right.
Yeah, and guess who it's gonna be?
Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson.
Herbie, I don't understand something.
I can explain anything, Miss Johnson.
Well, if you started your own company that prints these and sells them to stores like Kahn Brothers and Foster's and...
Tracy Drugs?
Yes.
Why do I spend my own time selling them individually?
Right.
What else can I do between classes? Besides, the great thing about bumper stickers is that it's a self-generating business.
Self-generating?
Everyone you sell is advertising. So the more you sell, the more you advertise.
And the more you advertise, the more you sell, right?
Hey, you've got a great head for business, Miss Johnson.
Well, thanks. But there's just one little problem about me buying one of your bumper stickers.
Oh, what's that, Miss Johnson?
I don't have a car.
You don't have a car?
No.
Miss Johnson, I can get you the greatest deal on a brand new four-door front-wheel drive. Wait till you see it, Miss Johnson. You're gonna love it.
Herbie, I'll buy one of the bumper stickers now, and when I can afford it, I'll get the car.
Well, I think I've persuaded Masterson & Sons to set up a training program for 20 of our students.
Will they pay them while they're learning?
Mm-hmm. Not a lot, but they're going to pay them.
That's great.
You know, Liz, you deserve a lot of credit for making that happen, especially at a time like this. It was very ingenious.
Well, it hasn't really happened yet, but they are sending somebody over next week to interview our students.
Who knows? Once you get the program started, it might encourage other companies to do the same thing.
I certainly hope so. 20 jobs doesn't even begin to solve the problem.
Too bad we don't have a school full of Herbie Considines.
You don't really mean that.
No, I don't. Forget I said it.
Chris, here's $1. Go to the cafeteria and get me ham and cheese on rye, huh? Sure.
Herbie?
Yeah, what is it?
Maybe you're in this, man.
What's it about?
I don't know. It's a book on records and championships. You know, the fastest, slowest, biggest. Maybe there's some in here about most bumper stickers sold in an hour.
Oh, yeah, well, if it's in there, it's out of date. I just broke my own record. We're all sold out for today. But, let me take a look at it anyway.
Hey, Jason, what happened with those jobs yesterday?
Nothing, man, nothing.
Yeah, I blew a job as a shoe salesman this morning.
Why?
Not enough experience and too much hair.
Now, that's discrimination. If you were a girl, they wouldn't have said anything.
I got an interview at a moving company. 12 other guys. They're gonna let 2 of us know.
Hey, a guy can swallow 5 swords at once. I wonder who he buys his swords from.
Hey, Herbie, you're a businessman. Why don't you help us out?
How? I'll do anything.
Why don't you let kids sell your bumper stickers around school?
Too much overhead for the potential market. It would eat up my profits.
Why don't you have some of the kids run your printing press and deliver your stickers?
I just don't have any openings right now. I'm fully staffed.
Oh, that's what all you employers say.
Look, I use adults. They're more reliable, and besides, they don't work until they have just enough money for some stereotapes, then quit.
This anything you're willing to do to help. What does it include?
It includes the answer to your problem.
Here's your lunch, Herbie. I'm sorry it took so long, but there was a line.
Oh, that's okay, kid. Just give me the change, and you eat the lunch.
Thanks.
Oh, Miss McIntyre. Miss McIntyre.
Herbie, I'm not in the mood to listen to any sales pitch.
Ah, but suppose it means jobs for Whitman students.
Oh, you always know what button to press.
Dick, a sudden disaster strikes, leaving a family destitute. Then they go on the TV news. People send money, make offers of help.
So?
Family right across the street, same disaster. But they don't go on the TV news. They starve. Why?
Publicity.
Right. A situation is presented dramatically. Sympathy is aroused. Action is stimulated.
Okay.
So what we have to do is publicize Whitman High's problem. A need for jobs for students.
Oh, Herbie, now does this involve some kind of disaster at the school?
No, we just have to set up a situation by where when an employer thinks job, he thinks Whitman. We have to demonstrate Whitman initiative, Whitman desire, Whitman ingenuity.
Mr. Kaufman will sure like that.
Right, and with those qualities, a Whitman student will be an asset to any business.
Herbie, wait, no. I think everything you're saying is fine. I only have one question. How?
Miss McIntyre, I'm going to say one word to you. Just one word.
I'm ready.
Bananas.
Bananas?
Would you mind explaining to me how bananas are going to get jobs for kids?
Well, Herbie got the idea from this book. A 3-man team eating the most bananas in an hour.
Well, what's his idea?
For us to get a 3-man team and see how many bananas they can eat. See, we'll get attention from the news media, and we'll focus the spotlight on Whitman students. Kids who'll do more to get a job and more for their employer after they get it.
Yeah, that's great thinking. Someday we might all be glad we bought bumper stickers from Herbie.
He's contacting the Banana Bureau of America to see if they'll cooperate with us.
Did you agree to all this?
Not yet.
You know, it sounds like another one of Herbie's stunts to me.
Yeah, that's what I said. But Herbie said not if the Whitman team breaks the world's record.
The world's record for a 3-man team eating the most bananas in an hour. Golly.
Come in.
I'm looking for Mr. Considine.
Mr. Herbie Considine?
Yes. I'm John Bean, the Banana Bureau of America.
I'm Liz McIntyre.
Oh, yes, Mr. Considine mentioned your name.
That was very good of him. I didn't know you were coming today.
Well, Mr. Considine sounded pretty urgent, and actually we're rather excited about this project.
You are?
Oh, it'll be great publicity for us. And as I told Mr. Considine, the Banana Bureau will provide all the bananas necessary.
All the bananas?
Not only that, we'll also provide the 3 students who are on the team with jobs for the summer.
You will?
Provided they break the record, of course. We'll use them for promotional purposes. We'll bill them as the Big Banana Eaters. I coined that phrase myself.
That's very catchy.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I'm late. I guess you two have met. Mr. Bean, I'm Mr. Considine.
Oh, Herbie.
Herbie, since I didn't know there was a meeting, I started without you.
Oh, Miss McIntyre, I'm sorry. I really meant to leave a note in your box. I really should get a secretary. Well, have you two discussed the arrangements yet?
Mm-hmm. All the bananas we can eat plus jobs for the team.
Oh, good. Well, what do you say, Miss McIntyre?
Come in.
Liz, oh, I see you're busy.
No, Mr. Bean of the Banana Bureau. This is Alice Johnson.
Oh, hi.
Hello there.
Does this mean you're going to do it?
Well, I don't know, but before we take another step, I am going to take the bull by the horns. Excuse me.
What does that mean?
She's going to go see Mr. Kaufman.
Ingenuity, yes, but leavened with a little common sense.
Well, we tried that, and it hasn't worked so far.
What makes you think lunacy is the answer?
I prefer to think of it as flexibility, Mr. Kaufman, the mark of any good administrator.
Oh, Liz, how many jobs do you really think this banana stunt is going to guarantee?
3, if they break the record. Plus, all that publicity could lead to lots of other jobs.
If they break the record. For a 3-man team eating the most bananas in an hour. All of this comes to us from the fertile mind of Herbie Considine.
Yes.
Liz, I'm sorry, but I just think it would do more harm than good. I'm afraid the answer is no.
Masterson and Sons has regretfully announced they will be unable to institute a program for paid trainees this summer as they had planned.
No.
Therefore, the job interviews scheduled for next Tuesday are canceled. Sincerely.
There's more good news. The government announced today that the elimination of 20 possible jobs is evidence of the continuing improvement of the economic picture.
I knew this was going to happen.
Have they really shut the thing down?
Yeah.
How can they cancel a whole program that they've already agreed to?
Simple as picking up the phone and saying they changed their minds.
Mr. Kaufman, why don't we take a shot with the bananas?
Yeah, what do we got to lose?
How about a little dignity?
We don't think we'll lose any dignity.
All we want are jobs. People are going to understand.
You hope.
It's a good idea, Mr. Kaufman.
We don't need 4 jobs. We don't need 20 jobs. We need a lot of jobs.
And this is the only idea that might get them.
What you got against bananas, Mr. Kaufman?
As a fruit, nothing.
Well, I don't see what harm it can do, and the publicity would be a big help. Mr. Kaufman, the principle behind the whole thing is very sound.
For one thing, they'll all get sick.
Only of bananas. Mr. Kaufman, do you have a better idea?
You got me there. Okay, Miss Johnson, you have my permission.
Miss Johnson?
Oh, Miss McIntyre, excuse me. It's just that kind of an idea.
All right, quiet, please. We didn't expect so many of you to volunteer for the Whitman Banana Team.
This is the first team I ever tried out for. I got a chance of making.
With your mouth, it ought to be a cinch.
All right. For those of you who don't already know, we're going to pick 3 students who will try to break the world's record for the most bananas eaten by a 3-man team in 1 hour.
What is the world's record?
Well, the current record is a total of 198 bananas.
Man, that's a lot of fruit.
Now, I'm going to turn this meeting over to Herbie Considine, who will be your student coordinator, and he will explain to you exactly how we are going to accomplish this feat.
Thank you, Miss McIntyre. All right, here's how we're going to set it up. This first trial is to eliminate anyone who can't eat 10 bananas at one sitting.
How do you know who qualifies?
When a student is finished, he simply turns in his banana peels.
And if he has 10 peels?
Then he qualifies for tomorrow's trials. 20 bananas.
Oh, then it goes up each day.
By 10. This not only eliminates the weak eaters, but it builds up the endurance and the capacity of those who make it.
The mind boggles.
Oh, there's Mr. Bean.
I'd better go talk to him. Mr. Bean, how are you?
Well, what do you think now?
I guess stranger ideas have worked.
I still wonder what's in it for Herbie.
Barbie, I know you'd qualify, and we need you on the team.
You can break the record without me.
No way. You'd be our biggest asset. Figuratively speaking.
Herbie, I eat because I like to eat, not for glory.
Barbie, if a person has got a special talent, and they can use that talent to help their fellow man, they owe it to the world to do it.
Like you do.
Barbie, it's a chance to get a great job for the summer.
I already have a great job for the summer.
Where?
My father's restaurant.
Barbie, remember the day this all started? Do you remember what you were eating? Bananas. Barbie, you like bananas.
Do you know what I think is ridiculous? That they've got to break the record. No, I just think that's a shame.
It's a shame they have to do this sort of thing to draw attention to a real problem.
Yeah, it's not enough to have a crisis these days. You gotta have a colorful crisis.
Hi.
Herbie!
Yes, Mr. Kaufman?
Come here a minute.
See you in a while.
Right. Herbie, you worked very hard on this stunt, and very well.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Kaufman.
But Herbie, you know, there's one thing that bothers me. We both know that there is a fundamental rule by which you live.
What's that, Mr. Kaufman?
Never do anything for nothing.
Well, sir, there's also another old saying. There's an exception to every rule.
There's never been one to this. Come on, Herbie. Confidentially, just between us, what's in it for you?
Mr. Kaufman, it hurts me deeply that you think I'm so selfish, so self-dedicated, so inhuman, so uncaring.
Okay, Herbie.
I'll see you later, Mr. Kaufman.
Kaufman?
Yes?
Charlie Hall, L.A. Chronicle.
Oh, reporter.
Samuel Kaufman, right?
Seymour Kaufman.
Seymour Kaufman. Miss McAteer says you're the principal?
Oh, Miss McIntyre is right.
Anything interesting happen while you've been principal? Any riot, fire?
Well, if that's what you consider interesting, no.
Well, how about something personal? Any little human interest hook?
Such as, do I have a dog?
Yeah, well, that's the best you can do.
Mr. Hall, I would appreciate it if you would concentrate on the point of this whole project, which is to publicize our students' need for jobs, to call attention to their personal ingenuity, which is available to every employer in town.
Look, if they break the record, it's news. If not, it's just a lot of banana peels.
Are you nervous?
Oh, I'm just glad I don't have to eat anything.
You know, I had cereal this morning with bananas on it, just for luck.
Okay, team, let's go. Now remember, eat slowly, chew thoroughly, and take it one banana at a time.
What's the matter? You think I have no manners? You think I'd use both hands?
Bernie, I've got a lot riding on this. Don't blow it for me.
What do you have riding on this?
Jobs. For a lot of my friends and fellow students.
Do it. I'm starving.
Hi, Miss Johnson. Miss McIntyre, okay now?
Anytime you're ready.
Stand by. 1, 2, 3, go! Leon, you're not feeling fast enough. Let's go. Attaboy, attaboy. That's it, Barbie, that's it. That's it. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Bernie, right. Going a little faster.
Why'd you sit down?
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you.
Fun?
Yes, doing well. What's the record they're shooting for?
198.
You're getting pretty close, aren't you?
The last 42 bananas are the hardest.
Bernie, you're a quitter. A quitter. Come on, Bernie. Look at your teammates. Eat one more banana. Bernie, one more banana might make all the difference in the world.
Herbie, I couldn't eat another banana, even if I never got another job my whole life.
Bobby, this is Herbie. Remember? You like bananas. You love bananas.
I hate bananas.
Where does that skinny kid put it all?
I don't know, but I hope he's got a little room left.
Come on!
One more to go. When this is over, what do you say we go out and get something to eat?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bananas!
Television coverage was pretty great, too. I saw it on 3 different channels.
It's not a bad article at all.
I wonder he didn't mention my dog.
I didn't know you had a dog.
You didn't know my name was Sam, either.
Masterson and Sons has reinstated their program proudly. Plus, I've had 8 calls from other companies so far. Fantastic.
Well, I guess Herbie knew what he was doing, huh?
I still wonder what was in it for him.
I know. John Bean told me.
Really what?
Well, for putting it together, the Banana Bureau gave Herbie $1 for each banana eaten and a $100 bonus for breaking the record.
I knew it. That little devil, Herbie Considine, claiming that he's not making a profit is like an elephant claiming he's not heavy. Wait till I see that kid.
Oh, Mr. Dragon! Oh, Mr. Dragon!
You were saying?
Let's see. Herbie!